Welcome to another episode of CP Diaries. Last month we talked with Amy about looking after your mental health. Now, this month we're going to speak with CPSN member Guarav about how he looks after his mental health.
So, Gaurav, I'm really glad you've joined us today because I know that over the last year or so you've been working with the CP Achieve project. What have you been doing there?
So I recently haven't been in touch with them in the past couple of months, but there has been a session where we discuss about physical and mental health. And in that topic, we discuss how with people with cerebral palsy have difficulties physically and mentally. But one of my examples was in the meeting that I said that they have difficulty communicating in the community, like travel, whether it's traveling or going out with friends or family members. And mentally, because people can't get outside and communicate with other people or hang out with other people, they get isolated inside in their houses. So that's what we discussed about, and we discussed about how sleep affects people with CP and their physical health.
You touched on some stuff there that I think was really relevant to the issue of mental health in the CP community. There's all this evidence that suggests that people with CP have higher incidence of mental health issues. Why do you think that is?
First of all, I don't know if people with CP are at a high risk of mental illness. When I think of mental illness, I know that everyone faces some sort of mental illness in their lives. The only difference is that people with disability have a more impact of mental illness on them because they face physical and mental limitations that normal people don't have to face in their lives. Whether this could be physical, like I said, accessing the community, going out with friends, or trying to communicate with physical gestures like hand movement and that, or speech. So that's one aspect of it. And then mental, being able to cope with people mentally, like being able to understand what they're saying, being able to express the information through words. So I myself have difficulty doing that sometimes. So I try my best in explaining it the best way I can. But I also discussed this with my speech therapist, and he said I need to go slower when I'm speaking, so they understand what I'm saying, and I can get my information out right to them. And when it comes to mentally, I myself have difficulty coping with classes because the classes are so long that I can't take all the information in. So I sometimes need to, I discussed this with my program coordinator with this course, that I need to lessen my classes or lessen the hours that I attend each day, which will help me out mentally, because when I'm attending classes for 6 to 8 hours a day, it's not helping me out. So I told him we need to slow down and go easy with this course for me on my level. So yeah.
So do you think, and maybe this is something you've gotten more knowledge of since joining the CP Achieve project, but do you think that people with disabilities have barriers to getting assistance when they are having mental health issues? What do you think these
myself
are?
haven't faced any barriers recently when it comes to accessing medical treatment. I've gotten medical treatment easily with my dad's help as well. But in the past couple of years where I've become more independent and tried to talk to doctors myself and booked appointments, I've never faced really that much difficulty. The only difficulties that I've faced in the last couple of years was with NDIS and with my license. Because with NDIS, they said that I wasn't that what they said was that I wasn't that disabled enough to get NDIS access to NDIS. So I needed the right document from the doctors and from my therapist to help me get access to it. So my ophthalmologist, my neurosurgeon, my physiotherapist wrote a letter to help me get access to it. And then I finally went on getting access to it. So that was like a really big win for me, because after trying for the first 2 times that I tried, I got rejected. So then I tried again myself, and then I finally got access to it, like with the help from all my doctors and from cerebral palsy support network as well.
I think that's an interesting point. I think the NDIS has obviously been incredible in terms of giving people with disabilities access to services.
Yeah.
But do you think there's room for improvement when it comes to access to mental health services?
Yes, so I haven't accessed like mental health services myself because I haven't felt a need for it, because I've had my family, my friends, and my relatives around me to help me support with the mental illness that I face every day. But when it comes to when it comes to I do the mental health hotlines, I think that for me it's not beneficial because I think they don't know me as well as my family members and my friends do. So it's hard to communicate with them my problems. I can easily go to my parents and say, hey, this is my problem, I need your help. So they support me in any way they can and talk to me, go through with me during that phase, because they've known me since birth. So it's easier to communicate with them than someone on the phone and talk to them. And the thing is, talking to someone on the phone through a mental health helpline is that um, they like each time you talk to them, they're new, like they're not the same person. So you need to explain to them over and over again what your problem is. And the other thing is that when you talk to them, you don't know if they experience the same thing as you do. Like they don't have a disability, so it's harder for them to understand what you're going through.
I think that's a really good point. I think that's felt like a barrier for me in the past as well, because I think sometimes if you are having a common mental health issue like depression or anxiety, your disability can be very tied into it.
Yeah.
And they might come with the background knowledge of the mental health issue itself, but how it relates to the disability is a whole different kettle of fish.
Correct. Yeah.
Is this something, do you have disabled people in your support network or your social network, and what are their feelings on this?
So since year 7, I've had friends that in my friend circle that have autism, Asperger's, asthma. So he face their own problems. But the good thing is that like they're like me, they don't have their disability isn't that impactful as mine. So it's easier to communicate with them, and we all have the same likes and dislikes. So like it's still we've been friends since year 7. So I'm so happy that I have this group of people that I can talk to if I ever need help. So yeah, and recently now that I've become part of CP Achieve group and the Brain Trust program, I can see people with cerebral palsy more now. Before I have never met people with cerebral palsy. So now this is a big change in my life.
And what are some of the things you do to stay mentally healthy and positive in your own life?
Yeah, so I do get like when I'm doing my work, like I've spent so many hours doing my work and I can't complete it, or like the way I want it to be doesn't look the way I want it to be. So I get frustrated easily or angry because I've spent many hours and effort into my work and it doesn't look the way I want it. Then I calm down, stop doing work and do something that I enjoy doing, whether it be watching something that I enjoy watching. Like I really like watching comedy shows, that helps me a lot. Or whether it be playing games, it changes my mood as well. And the best thing that helps me out is getting out and going to the gym every single day. That's been the biggest thing that's helped me out because it's helping me get out into the community and talking to people when I need it the most.
I think that's really good. And if you were to offer a message to our audience watching people with CP, if they were struggling with mental health issues or anything, would you offer any advice or support at all?
I would say don't keep in yourself, like open up and talk to someone about it, whether it be with your friends, parents, or relatives. Even your therapists are the best people to contact if you're facing any difficulties in your life. Because I know that whenever I go have an appointment with my therapist, I talk to them what has happened since I've last seen them, and the good things and the bad things. So that's helped me out a lot when it comes to dealing with mental health issues. And I'm recently also start seeing a psychologist because one of my doctors, a rehab physician, suggested I should see a psychologist to help me out with these problems. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I've really appreciated sitting down with you, and it was great to see you again and see how well things are going. Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you.
So, if you want to share your experience or share your story, please send us a direct message. We'd love to hear your story.